Today we're going to study regarding layout managers. Layout managers are very important because whenever we use any kind of container for storing different applets, might be in AWT or regarding Swing, you will be needing to arrange those components, right? Default layout is there, but that won't help you to to make a very good look and feel regarding an interface, right? So if you want to have all your components placed as per your need, you need to have some layout managers, right? So layout managers basically are used for arranging the different components in an order, right? So what sequence you want, how those components to be placed on the interface on the frame, you can decide it by using different layout managers, right? Basically, if you say a layout manager is an interface which implements the classes of the layout manager. So we are going to see four different layout managers. So they can, which can control the size and the position of your components placed within the container, right? So whatever component, different components you're going to place in the container, you can have a control over them while placing it on the frame and setting the size and the position of it. So layout managers, without layout managers, you cannot place your components with the ease of place in your frame, right? So there are some default managers also. That means even if you do not mention any of those layouts, automatically default flow layout, or you can see border layout, such default layouts will be automatically inserted. There are different layout managers, not only four, there are many, right? So we are going to see these basic layouts. Depending on these, you may have an idea how and what layout managers you can see work out while implementing for a frame. So we have flow layout, then border layout, card layout, and grid layout. Right? Flow layout will be a default one. We have seen an example in our previous lectures. Even though we are not using any of those layout managers, and we try to insert different components into our frame, right? So they were inserted sequentially, right? One by one. So basically flow layout manager, whenever we use it, it is used to arrange the components sequentially, one after the another, right? As soon as we try to add those components in the container, those components are added programmatically as we have mentioned it in our program, right? If I'm going to add some buttons, some labels, some text box, some choice, some list, right? So the way I'm going to call them, right, in or put them in the container, the in a similar manner, it will be appearing onto your output string on the GUI, right? So you have seen if I try to drag that frame or that window, the sequence would change as per the size of that window, right? So depending on it, the sequence would also change. We have seen, we've taken some buttons and then drag that window and checked, right? So those are added one after the another, and all the components are center aligned by default. So this kind of layout manager goes on adding all the components in the sequential manner, right? If the window size is in a particular 300 by 300 and the pixel for your width is over, that is it has reached to 300, then the other component will move on to the next line, right? So in this way manner, all the components will be placed are in this sequential form, right? And it is a default layout for applet or panel. There are four to five fields in flow layout class whenever we create this. we have a layout to set as left, right? Do not we, if by default we do not want our components to be placed on the center, yes, you can set your layout components for this layout manager as to left and to right. Default it will be as center, then we can have leading and trailing also. So which will be placed first, which will be placed by the next component, and so on. Okay. So these are some of the layout managers fields, and there are some constructors also, right? For each of them constructors also. I think we have seen this example in our last let's say lecture, right? We have took these buttons, right? This can say are fitting according to the text provided to the button, right? So we have button 1, this is button 2, we are having only number, right? Next then a text is little bit bigger, and so on, right? So as soon as you can see, if we drag this window, you will be able to see that the components will be center aligned by default, and 1 2 3 4 5, the sequence of those buttons, you can see 5 and 6 cannot be fitted in that particular given size, so it moves on to the next line, right? So if we resize this window again, uh, and maximize your whole window, so all these buttons will be fitting in a single line in a sequential order, okay? So you can see the constructors, different constructors for flow layout. Remember these will be the, you can say, default ones first. Now this will create a layout with the center alignment and a default of 5 unit, or you can say 5 pixels horizontal and vertical gap, right? So this is a default one. Second, if you want to have some alignment, right, regarding those 5 fields, we have seen which kind of alignment, rather than going for center aligned. If you want to have any other alignment, you can go here by using this constructor as flow layout and the alignment, right? So this will create a flow layout which will give you the alignment and a default unit again of 5 for horizontal and vertical gap, right? So that gap will be over here. This will be the horizontal gap and this will be the vertical gap, right? That means these two components are having some gap in between this. So by default it is 5. So these buttons or these components are not attached to the components next to each other, right? So they're having some gap vertically as well as horizontally, right? So there must be that gap. You can take both also, right? The third constructor in flow layout. If I want to go for alignment, then if I want to change the horizontal gap, you can go for H gap, and for vertical gap, V gap, right? So these are some of the constructors which are used to create a flow layout with the given alignment and with the given horizontal gap and with the vertical gap, right? So these are some of the basics regarding how flow layout is implemented. Next is border layout. Border layout is used to arrange the components in 5 different areas, right? There are 5 different, I can say, regions which help you to divide your areas of a window as in north, south, east, west, and center, right? So these are 5 different regions. Now your normal frame will have only one region wherein your all components will be placed one another. Now here in border layout, what does it provides by default? As whenever you try to implement border layout, you will be using 5 different layouts. If you do not want to use any of those layouts, those will be left blank, right? So none of the component will be added to that region, right? So each region can contain a separate component only. And if you want to add any component to north or to west, right, you can add that by using the region name, right? So in a frame or window, if you're going to use it, it will be the default layout, right? So these are the main 5 regions. This will also provide you to add it in the, there are also their fields to add into border layout, right? So this is how you add it. These are the, you can say, constants for each region as public static final, integer as north, south, east, west, and center, right? So this is how a border layout looks like, right? So if I create a frame and call the border layout, you'll be seeing that if I name these regions, right, my layout, my frame will be divided into such 5 different regions, right? So again, we have a layout kind of default constructor, then with some parameters, right? Also for border layout. First will always be a default layout. Right? This will give, will create a border layout with no gaps between the components, right? So there will be all those 5 regions. If you have added any of those components, right, all those components will be stick together and there will be no gap between these components. Second constructor we have as J border layout, which is being supported by Swing. Here you will be having the alignment to check the horizontal gap and the vertical gap, that is int h gap. Right, so this is the second constructor which will allow you to create a border layout with the specified horizontal gap and the vertical gap between the components, right? So these, if you are using, if you're going to use this kind of layout and you are having different components placed over here, so you can have vertical gap and an horizontal gap as per that constructor, whatever the value is being mentioned over there. Remember here in applets, whatever you place your components is everything been drawn in terms of pixels, right? So the, you can say, x and y coordinates, whatever you want to place your component to be started and to be stopped on which component, everything will be calculated in terms of pixels, right? So if I consider this border layout window, so this point will be my starting point as 0 0, x as 0 and y as 0. And if I'm having my entire window as 300 by 300 pixels, so my last point will be over here as 300 x and 300 as y, right? So similarly, if you want to place any of those components to a particular pixel, then you need to specify its x and y coordinates, right? That will specify where your component will be placed. Then we have card layout, right? Card layout manages the components in a very good manner so that the only one component will be visible at a time. Now, as per this card layout manager, you can see that there might be multiple components attached to it, right? But it will be showing you only one component at a time, right? You can, to understand this example, this card layout, you can think of a card deck, right? There are 52 cards, but at a time you see only one card, right? You know there are 51 more cards, but you're not able to see it. In same similar way, card layout is being implemented, right? So it treats each component as a card. If you want to change it, you need to click that component, or give any action, so that card will be moved and another card according to your action event will be performed, and that card now will be visible to you. The previous card will be again hidden, right? So you can combine two different you can say layouts also. If you want to go for an example such as a slideshow, right? If you want to show the images, right? So consider this entire screen as your card layout. So you can use hmm, border layout, and use only the south region for getting the first and last as buttons, and previous and before, right? So such kind of buttons can be placed into south region, and the leftover part, that means I'm not going to use east, west and north. I'm going to use the center part as the card layout. So whenever I click on next, the card component will be changing its card, putting the current on the back end and showing the next card onto my screen. So there are some methods also for here, right? So we have next, previous, first, last, and then show, right? So such kind of can say methods can be used into card layout, right? Here you remember one component at a time will be shown, right? So you can combine different layouts also. Now for this, we also have some constructors. First, obviously, will be a default one. So this will create a card layout with no gap between the components which you placed as horizontal and vertical gap, right? So if you want your component to be a little bit in between your entire window, you can set the gaps for horizontal and vertical. And second, you have the layout of how many pixels you want to set the horizontal gap and the vertical gap, right? So you can manually set it whenever you create a card layout by giving your own size for horizontal and vertical gap. Now I've created a small demo to demonstrate it, right? We are going to take three different components and going to give a action onto it. So whenever I click on first button, so this is my button. So I'll be having three different card layouts. Whenever I click on this button, I'll be getting a second window, right, onto itself. So first will go behind in the back, and second will be on the first, right? When I click on second, again it moves on to a next component, that is third. When I click on third, again it will move on to first, right? So in similar way, if I place all these components in the south region as first, second and third and so on, right? So whenever I click on first button, the card layout which going to present over here in the center will give you some image, or you can say some another tab where you have multiple options, right? Or for a more you can say realistic example, if I go for you can say displaying the information of different countries, right? A little bit history, if I want to display about a country, I can put up here three buttons in the south region as suppose any three countries over here. So if I click on it, I'll be getting a text area, or you can say a simple label which describes what that country is about, right? And so on. There are many examples where you can use it. So in such way, a card layout manager can help you to execute it. And we'll see the last part, last manager, that is the grid layout manager, right? As the name itself says, it will be having a grid, right? A rectangular grid, which will be holding your components into a particular division of X into Y. Now here in each rectangle, you can see in each rectangle, only one component is displayed. Right now you can see I've taken the same example of flow layout where I've added these buttons, right? In flow layout, the button size was according to what the text is being provided, right? For example, if I consider this as button 1 and here as only number 3, right? So here the button size of button 1 and 3 were comparatively according to what text has been provided into it, right? But in grid layout manager, you can see that the components are divided into the number of rows and number of columns which are provided, right? So rows and columns will give you a rectangular grid. That's why it is called as grid layout, right? And only one component can be placed in each rectangle. So if I want some different kind of layout, that means uh, in this button 1 I need again one more grid, right? So you can have a grid layout into a grid layout, right? So this first part, right? So out of this 2 by 3 grid, rectangular grid, in the first part I want some more components to be placed, so that also can be achieved, right, by using grid layout manager. Now we have some examples to study as per what we have seen through these 4 components, right? We have flow layout, border layout, card layout, and grid layout, right? So whatever images I've shown you as an example that this might be the flow layout, we'll be seeing in this demo, right? This I've taken here as 6 different buttons, then taken a constructor, right? Now explicitly I need to mention here because this will be explaining you how a flow layout will be implemented here, right? So even if I do not write here, in this case, flow layout will be the default one to set my components on the window, right? So I've given some name for your buttons, and parallelly I have added it into the container. You can see here, button 1 is created as here and added to the component, then button 2, then button 3. So this is the sequence 5 and 6, right? This is the sequence how my components will be added to the component, right? Even though if I create an objects of button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, and then while adding into the container, I go in the reverse order, then 6 will be displayed first, then 5, then 4, and then so on, right? So the creation is not important, the way you add it into the container, that will be the sequence of displaying the components on the output screen or on the window, right? Then setting out the layout, size, and the visibility. Then you can see here calling out the constructor. I'll just execute it. Right, this is the window of what our buttons are, right? So this is the actual size which is fitting. Now let's try to see that if these all are being center aligned, right, and sequentially added as per the programmatically what we are given in the container. Now one thing to observe is if you go in this way in managing, so all the buttons will be here, and even if I try to drag on the left side, it's not being hidden, right? But if I go height vertically, all your components will be hidden. So this is the point you need to note it. Now the another one is the border layout, right? 5 regions you can see here is divided into the border layout as north, south, center, east, and west, right? And the setting of title size and its visibility, right? So these are 5 different buttons I've taken over here. You see here, there are 5 different buttons, all are clickable into their own region. east and yes, south, right? So this is the gap you can set out. You can change the, you can see the region area accordingly. Then we have card layout, right? We have taken 3 buttons as first, second, and third. We have added it in the component and given the listener that whenever I click on this, next method will be implemented, right? So if I am on first button and click on that button, and action will be performed and event will be created. What is that? To go to the next button, right? Let's try this. Now this is the window. So if I click on first, this will be my button, and whenever I click this action will be performed, that it will be moving to the next component if it is available. So if I click on first, you can see now second is visible. If I click on this second button, third is visible, and then again if I click on third, first is available. So this is how each component is placed one on the another, right? So it is not visible at the same time, right? Now the last one, that is the grid one, right? So grid will allow you to place all these components into rows and columns, right? Again, the same sequence of adding these buttons, setting the visibility, the title, and the size of the uh, grid. Let's compile it. This is the actual, you can see if I drag it, all the components will be placed accordingly into the same size of this entire grid, right? Even vertically or even horizontally, you can see this goes on changing. Okay, so this was a demo regarding the different layout managers used in Java.